Hey, I want to welcome you to another episode of the Mission Matters Marketing Podcast, your source for all things marketing. My name is Adam Torres. You can follow me on Instagram at AskAdamTorres to keep up with my book releases, book tour schedule, signings, all that other good stuff. Always love to connect with you there. And as always, if you'd like to apply to become a co-author of one of my upcoming books, just head on over to the website, missionmatters.com, and click on Become an Author to apply. All right, so today I have Jesse Childs on the line, and he's a creative producer over at We Are Royale. Jesse, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Adam. I appreciate you taking time to speak with me.
Oh, man, so I want to explore the age-old question here today with you. What makes good content? But before we do that, first, tell us a little bit more about what you're up to over at We Are Royale.
Okay. My main job is to handle all of the internal marketing for the studio. We Are Royale is a digital and creative studio, so we handle various accounts and projects for all types of big, medium, and small-sized companies and organizations, anything from Under Armour to a small nonprofit in New York that does murals for asylum seeker children, and anything in between. And my role particularly is to take all of that great work that is done with individual teams and collect it for the website, for social media, create certain assets in addition to what we deliver for brands to help market the studio as a lever for business development, as well as just a general marketing channel for all of our social media touch points and digital touch points across the web.
So just to get a feel for the right type of, I know it's a broad base of clients, are there any particular niches that you focus on more so than others over at We Are Royale?
Yeah. I would say the top three verticals we focus on are entertainment, technology, and lifestyle and fitness. So that would be anything from HP or Apple to, like I said before, Under Armour, Nike, Adidas. And then we do a lot of work with Amazon for their original series. We're doing some with Apple TV Plus, and then various broadcast stuff for ABC, CBS, across the board there. Graphic packages, opening themes, all that type of toolkitting.
So you have a pretty unique vantage point based on, the type of companies you working with those big established brands and studios, all the way down again to the nonprofits. So you have a very big bandwidth. So when I ask this question, I know there's possibly different answers, but what to you makes good content?
Sure. I think there's some universal attributes that can apply to any audience in respect to what's good. And obviously I'm taking a marketing perspective, but I also try and do a 180 and think about, well, if I'm just the observer here, how would I judge this, not knowing what's going on in the kitchen, so to speak. So off the top, it has to be engaging, whether that's visually. Video still reigns supreme. And engagement comes not just with comments and likes and things like that, but people talking about it. Maybe it's even having conversation internally in their mind, having a commentary there about what they're witnessing. So having something engaging. And then I think more and more with the capabilities of technology, something interactive. It's going to be the new norm. That's where I'm going to bet. And interactive can be anything from mixed reality, AR, or something that has like a call to action in respect to swipe left or swipe up, and then you get like some kind of goodie or a chunk of knowledge or something as a reward. And I'm more interested also in seeing how mobile is just this vast audience, the gamification of content as well. So not only having engagement and some kind of call to action or interactive element, but some kind of prize reward system that I alluded to earlier baked in there somehow. A lot of mobile gaming companies obviously do that. You may see ads where you're actually playing a level of the game as a hook to get you to try to download it. I think that approach should be explored by non-traditional brands, things that wouldn't typically gamify their content. I think that might be something that we're seeing more down the line. But as a knee-jerk, those are the three things that go from a professional standpoint. From a viewer standpoint, to me, good content is something that I'll remember, and it's something that hit me emotionally, whether it made me, upset and want to go change something, or made me, get all the warm fuzzies and think about, oh, wow, this, is eliciting a lot of good memories for me. Something visceral and may not necessarily even be tied to the product, but it'll evoke an emotion and create a memorable connection for that brand or that product, regardless if it's directly aligned with what their value proposition is. So if I were to, kind of sit in the seat of the intended audience, those were the things that I would be aiming for as a marketing professional.
Do you have an example of maybe something that you've worked on that just kind of sticks out in your mind? And it doesn't have to be a big company, it could be a small, it could be anything. Just something that when I say, what's a great example of maybe something that you worked on that had some of the attributes of what you just described, what comes to mind?
Sure. I'll use the one example I alluded to earlier. The nonprofit in New York is called Artolution, and what they did is they painted this beautiful mural using designs that were illustrated by a group of young kids, essentially, like 10 to 14 or something like that, and all of them were asylum seekers from a country around the world that has some kind of political turmoil. So that was the Artolution's part, and what they brought us on was to create an app for them that when you view the mural through the window of your phone, it triggers animations for the characters that these children illustrated. So for one example, there's a fashion woman sort of in a pose, and when you put your phone up, that woman starts strutting a catwalk and does a hair toss.
Wow.
Yeah, it's super cool. I
that
can send you a link
so
if
cool.
you want to check
Please
it out.
do.
Yeah.
I'll put a link. I'll put a link in the show notes for everyone. So we'll definitely get a link in it. So everybody listening, there'll be a link in the show notes for this. That sounds so cool.
Yeah, and I mean that was an example of some pro bono work, but it was so cool and innovative and timely that it didn't matter. Like that content was enough of an investment for us because it shows that we are, on the pulse of current events. It shows that we care about community, the international community, and it shows that we're thinking about things in a way that's future forward, utilizing technology for a cause. And it was just a really creative application of things that we do for clients all the time. So you get certain liberties when you do work like that because there's not so many client restrictions. So I think that might be one of the better examples I can think of off the top of my head.
Man, that's absolutely amazing. So Jesse, if somebody's listening to this and they want more information on We Are Royale, what's the best way for them to reach out?
Definitely visit We Are Royale on LinkedIn, on Instagram, all typed like one word, WeareRoyale, We Are Royale. And we have a website that shows case studies of various phases of our work. There will be new content forthcoming. That project I alluded to is going to be up there within the next few weeks or days, hopefully. And that's the most direct way to reach out.
Fantastic. Well, hey, Jesse, really appreciate you coming on the show today and sharing more about all the great work that you're doing over at We Are Royale, and also your input and insight into what makes good content, both from the consumer side and from the professional side as a marketer. And to the audience, as always, thank you for tuning in. Hope you got a lot of value out of this. Hope you learned a lot. If you did, don't forget, subscribe to the podcast. Leave me a review on the Apple iTunes Store. If you're watching this on our YouTube channel, Mission Matters Marketing, then definitely subscribe there, but also leave us some comments on the video. Love to interact there. Don't let the conversation end here. Let's pick it up in the YouTube community. And Jesse, thanks again for coming on the show.